Do. What's going on, folks? What's going on? Here we are. Here we are. Pet Monster. Let me see. Little Texas Star. I got my phone right here. For the folks that know, we've been doing this whole Black Friday event. I represent the black community here. But nah, let me stop. This is something that's been going on by Miss Valerie Reese. She's been doing a fun drive or like for children in need or for people that's homeless and disadvantaged and they're trying to you know get aid to the folks. So far they've raised over $2,000. It's kind of crazy. Forgive me if this takes on a little bit more somber tone. I know Laurel, she was trying to get me to come in and do an hour this morning. She woke me up and I was tired. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know if I was going to make it today. But then I seen different people on there. I seen Gail Cabtree. I seen AOK. I seen Valerie Reese. Pet Monsters doing this thing. Grant Hubbard, a lot of people getting involved from different countries, from different regions, from different places, and this is definitely something that I definitely had to get involved with, and just try to fill up a space of an hour if I can. I come from a different experience of it. I know a lot about this, about people who are in need, folks that are homeless, people that do have things. What's going on, Granny Monster? Appreciate you. Anybody that's moderators, you could definitely drop the links to the donation link that Miss Valerie Reese has. Is definitely something I advise you to check out. I've donated it too. I don't do fundraisers. That's not really my thing. But Gail Cabtree, Valerie Reese, good people, definitely folks that are worthy of the time, worthy of the support in any way that you can. This is their fourth year doing this Black Friday event. Trying to get people to bring awareness to raise funds for folks in need that are homeless, that are just struggling out there. People overcoming obstacles. That's one of her channels out there. Definitely thank you, Pet Monster and Monster Chick. Got to make sure Pet Monster and Monster Chick. This is a big deal for folks to understand that people are in need. Folks are struggling out there. Let me look at my phone because I'm a little nervous because I'm trying to get this right. I look at my phone so I can see the comments. So if I'm not looking at this screen, I'm looking at this screen. Thank you for everybody that came through. Mad love to you, Monster Chick. I mean, Monster Chick. Monster Chick. I got it all messed up, but mad love to all you folks. I'm here. Candy as well. Love you all. Peace to everybody that's been doing their thing. The reason this is so important because I'm somebody who comes from that I guess that community, because people forget about the minority aspect of it. People forget about the fact that there are people of color. There's a lot of people of color who face issues as it pertains to these types of issues as far as being homeless. No, thank you, Valerie. Thank you to Laura. Thank you to Gail Captree for everybody getting me involved, for asking me to do this. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to even speak on this and talk on this, to be able to donate, to be involved with this, to try to help out your church and try to be a part of the big panoply of people that are just trying to make this something bigger. As time goes on, we want to make this even bigger than what it is. The thing that I want to stress to a lot of people, that this is not just about today. This is not just about the holiday season. This is not just about the right now. People that are in need, that are homeless, they're going to need this help. They're going to need this aid for days to come, for months to come, especially with the COVID-19, the pandemic and the economic stress and strife that's going on. There are a lot of people out there who are hurting. And I used to work in a homeless shelter, I actually work in a church myself. So I see these people firsthand. I know the homeless people. I can tell you some stories. I know people who are homeless right now who are in need. That there's this one lady, I guess I can tell this story. She comes into the church and it breaks my heart because the last time I saw her, all I had was $2. And I remember going to the train and it just felt like you want to do more. You want to try to help people. And I'm saying goodnight to the lady. And I remember one time somebody had said to me, they was like, get home safe. And I looked back at the person and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say because the person is homeless on the street. What do you tell a person get home safe and you don't have a home to go to? And then there's the children, the aspect of the children, trying to help the children. They're trying to put together aid and put services and stuff like that. To try to just to try to lift people up. Definitely create a redundancy. You want to do to try to lift their spirits. But sometimes the money is not enough. Like I think I heard Gail Captree say that in one of her interviews with Valerie Reese earlier today. The money is just not enough. People don't understand that we need to give our time. We need to give our money. We need to give our prayers. We need to give our love. We need to really show support to people who are in need. And also too, I know from just dealing with different people that it can always be you on the other side. It can also be you on the other side. You never know. Because I've heard the stories, and I know you've probably heard them too. You have people who are donating to the food pantries. You have people who are giving to the charities and their donations and stuff like that. And then because of different economic strife or situations that may befall them, they wind up being on the other side. And a lot of people don't realize this, because I've definitely had experiences, people I know in my life, folks that I'm close to, who have been on the other side, who have been homeless, who have been struggling, who have been in a situation where they're up one day and you got money, you got cars, you got all these different things, and you never know, one day it could be you. It's not a white, it's not a black thing, it's not a gay or straight thing. Anybody can be homeless. Believe me, when it comes to homelessness, it knows no bounds. It has no prejudice when it comes to being homeless, when it comes to being in need. I know too many people. Like I said, I've worked in family shelters. I've worked in single shelters, as far as men and women. I've worked around veterans. I've worked around, all types of people. Let me see. Candy says, I know from your side too, because my husband is a beautiful black man. We were married for almost 42 years. My son has to work full time, 2 jobs, and still works overtime. Yes. And that's the working class people. I have one of my friends who I can't reveal a person's name. Somebody that I know personally, somebody I grew up with, who wound up in a homeless shelter. So, we was eating syrup sandwiches and having sugar water. And my man wound up in a homeless shelter, and it broke my heart. And he was just telling me the stories. People don't understand when you go into these homeless shelters. And then people don't realize something. In the United States, the largest population of homeless people are actually children. People don't understand that. Thank you, Juice, for coming through. I appreciate you. Hopefully, it's all is good with you and your loved ones too. And happy Thanksgiving and everything to folks out there. Happy holidays and all that stuff. Whether you don't celebrate, I hope everybody and their family is safe and whatnot. But I'm just trying to bring awareness to Miss Valerie Reese, her efforts, and it's a great effort because she's actually trying to raise money and do what she's trying to do. Pat P, thank you for coming through. Thank you for everybody's coming through. 15 people in the chat. I just want to try to bring awareness and encourage you to donate and hit the link, below, or hit the link that's in the chat. Whatever you could donate, $5, $10, $2, 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever you could put forth, to help Miss Valerie Reese, because definitely she's somebody who's genuine. And anybody that know me, that's been following me for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 1 minute, 5 minutes or more, I ain't doing a whole bunch of fundraisers for everybody. I ain't coming out. It ain't gonna be a fundraiser today and then a fundraiser tomorrow and then a fundraiser the next day. So we doing this right now. But like I said, I'll just do it with that. Bass Fishing, thank you for coming through. You did say you was coming through. I appreciate you for that. So this is because Valerie Reese, good people, Gail Captree, good people, all the folks connected to this are real folks, real genuine people that I really appreciate, that really, are actually trying to do something to help folks, people in need, folks struggling. And I say this, you try to grow this thing bigger because you never know where this can go. You never know how it can be. You never know what can happen and what can transpire from, the efforts that you put forth. Because a lot of times people don't think that they have power. There's nothing that they could do. They may think, if I only have $1 to donate, it won't matter. But it does. Any little thing that you can do. And sometimes the most valuable thing you can do is find your favorite charity or try to donate to somebody that's reputable to try to help people in need, especially at this time of year. People need it more than ever, especially with the pandemic. We all know what's going on. We see the COVID rate, going sky high in certain states. We see over 200,000 Americans dead. We see people financially going through all kind of strife politically. People are going different places. Folks are unsure what the vaccine is going to happen, what's going on with the politics, the president, all these other kind of crazy things. So you try to look for stability, and sometimes it's hard to find. It really is sometimes. Oh, okay, this Juice saying happy holidays to all you folks. All I could do is just try to add my little piece to it, from where I come from. And all of us understand struggle. All of us have people in our lives that we know, whether personally or through a friend or a coworker, somebody who's went through something and they've been down on their luck, and they may have kids, or they may be elderly or disabled. These are all things that we definitely struggle with. Thank you, Valerie, but I appreciate you for asking me. I definitely appreciate for being asked. Even though, like I said, I didn't know if I was going because I'm tired from work and all this other stuff. But I got too much knowledge. I got too much interest. I know this subject. I know what you're talking about too intimately as it pertains trying to help children in need or people that are homeless or folks that are going through things. So I do encourage you, anybody watching this, and shout out to the replay gang and the people watching this in the replay, just check out the link, hit the link. They're trying to double, what they made last year, and it's been something I've donated to it. Other people in this chat has donated to it. This is definitely a worthy cause. It's definitely from a reputable person. I don't do fundraisers and live streams for fundraisers all the time. So if I'm up here and I'm supporting folks, then that means this is something definitely legit. The light of God can push people back into darkness. Okay, you're talking to creative redundancy, but that is true. That's definitely true. I cover all GoFundMe fees, so all donations will go to charity. Yes, and that's important too. So Valerie Reese is saying that she's going to cover, all the fees associated with it, anything that's being paid, that's going to come back, and she's going to make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go. Because that's another thing about charity too, which I'm glad you brought that point up. People don't understand. You could donate somewhere, and you may not trust the person. You may not know, the reputation of the people that you're giving money to. It may be shaky. You're like, I don't know. Is it going to go where it's supposed to go? Is it going to line the pockets of somebody? Somebody talking about, can I get, a couple of 100,000, but they flew to the charity in the Learjet, it's funny stuff going on. I worked around not-for-profit organizations for over 15, 16 years, so I've seen a lot of crazy things. Stuff I can't say for legal reasons on this live stream because I'm not trying to get sued, but I will say to you, it is very important who you donate your money to. It is very important to know the people that are associated with it, the fees, the administration, the allocation of funds. That all is important. So, like I said, enough of that though. I'm not trying to get too crazy. How do you feel about Washington D.C. Council passing the law where parents may not opt out of vaccines for their kids? Well, it's controversial when it comes to that, as far as vaccines and stuff like that. Not being able to opt out. I personally, it's counterproductive because you say, we're supposed to have certain inalienable rights as citizens. That's a whole other ball of wax and whatnot right there. I think people should still have the right to choose whether or not, they're going to have their kids go for the vaccination. To force that on them is something that's totally crazy, but again, I see people trying to overcorrect, but that's just what that is. But again, not to get too sidetracked from what I'm talking about here, I do want to focus on the kids. I do want to focus on the people in need, the folks that are struggling out there. And I do encourage people not to make this just a Thanksgiving thing, even though we're doing a Black Friday event, even though this is, people who are home, folks have been home, even though people got their attention on it. The hardest thing about these things, and I heard Valerie Reese talking about this in a previous live stream throughout the day, because this is like a whole 24-hour thing, where it's funding. It's hard to get funding for these types of things. What she's doing for a church, what she's doing for this effort, that she's putting forth to help people in need, children in need, that that are facing homelessness, is that it's hard to find funding. A lot of times you may not get the right subsidies, you may not get the right people backing you and behind you, and sometimes you have to do the fundraisers and the charity events, and you have to call in for your friends, and you have to get people involved. Thank God that Valerie Reese was able to get so many people involved, people from different countries, different regions of the United States. We got people from Germany, we got people from Canada, we got people from Virginia, we got people from Tennessee, we got people from Texas, we got people from New York, Brooklyn's in the house. We got people from all over doing what we're supposed to do. Let me see, Ventures in Bass Fishing. Let me see who is Pet Monster. Thanksgiving weekends, we're so thankful. Yes, but we got to be thankful all the time. We definitely got to be thankful all the time. It's important to be thankful every day. It's important to remember people even after the holidays. And so many times we forget that, people need help all year round, 365. Just like people need help today, they're going to need help tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. This is not just a one-time thing. This is not just, something that happens today. That's why they've been doing this. Valerie Reese, and company have been doing this for over 4 years. And I guarantee you there'll be a need for this next year. All these people that are on the chat now, all the people that have been doing this now, is going to be a need for them next year. It'll be a need for these words that I'm saying next year. It'll be a need for these efforts, because the poor always be among us. The people that are always in trouble, that are always in need, will be among us. And you never know. You never know when it'll be you. Hopefully, it's not you. I pray. I honestly hope and pray that it's not you. I hope and pray that your family is safe. I hope and pray that the people who have donate are able to donate and increase in abundance and able to do more for other folks. But the reality is, some of us that are in these efforts, that have been around these folks, understand that's going to be a time when we need help. There's going to be a time when we definitely need something like that. Valerie says, I delivered items to the shelter a couple of days ago. They have over 400 people in the shelter this week. And guess what? Um, that number can increase even more. It could be 400 people today. It could be 500 tomorrow. It could be 4,000 the next week. It could be, 100,000, months after that. People don't realize, because I come from New York, so I know that the homeless rate is going up. It's going up to maybe 60, 70,000 in the next couple of years. It's projected to go up. I know in California, in the state of California, they have over 100,000 people that are homeless. So wrap your mind around that. You have small cities, the size of small countries, that have a whole population of people here in the United States that basically are homeless, basically in need. Have people who are working poor. You have people going back and forth just trying to live and make ends meet. So it's crazy, These are parents and kids. Yes. And I said it too, for those people that don't realize that the largest population in the United States that is homeless are kids. I used to work in a homeless shelter, a family shelter, and it's sad what you see. People don't realize that there are a lot of kids, out there who, are homeless to no fault of their own. If I'm going into a shelter, with my mother or my father, I could try to run away, but I'm still homeless. So it's one of those things where we don't see, the impact on our society. There's a lot of children that go to school that are homeless, and it's hard. It's already stressful to them. They're trying to go to school and make a better way and get their grades up, and those are different things that they have to face. Grandma says, so probably they're listening to Creative Commons, and others might use his thoughts. And no, definitely, I can make this Creative Commons. Yeah, I will. That is true, Granny Monster. I'm gonna have to leave this as Creative Commons. But like I said, I have a wealth of information and experience with this. I mean, I've literally worked in homeless shelters for, wow, at least over 6 or 7 years. And I work in not-for-profit. So I know the people personally. I know people right now. I wish I could bring them on camera, but you don't do that because you don't want to expose people in their stories. I know people today who are homeless today, people who had to abandon their children or live another life. I know a man from California who lives here in New York, who's not close to his family, who's moved away and who's just living out on the streets. And you got to remember, the people that you see now as adults, whether they're elderly, whether they have mental health issues, at one point those were children. At one point those are somebody's father, that's somebody's mother, that's somebody's husband, that's somebody's wife. We don't take stock of that thing. We forget that sometimes. Also, let me see. Candy says also many are young men and women out of the foster care who are homeless. Yes, definitely. There's a lot of people who were in the foster care system, for one reason or another, wind up on the streets. People don't understand that there's so many people that wind up on the streets for different reasons. There are people that look like me and you who are out on the streets that you would never know. You can see somebody in a business suit. You can see a child coming home from school. Like one thing I'll say too, this broke my heart. I was, working in the church, and there was this whole black family that came together every night that would come into the church, and they would sit there with each other for hours and on end. And we couldn't understand why this family would sit there with each other for hours on end and fall asleep in the church and talk to each other. Well, we come to find out over time that the family would come to the church and they would sit there with each other and they would sleep with each other because the father had to go to another shelter as a single male, and then the mother with the two daughters was going to a family shelter in order to try to find housing. So it's kind of crazy just to go through the system a little bit more, I guess expediently. They had to separate as a family in order to try to get public housing or affordable housing, and that's a whole other component to this. People don't understand that. I have spent nights in that church when it was up as a shelter for families, so I could help them out, fix breakfast and dinner, and that's something that's definitely important. Definitely getting the kids good breakfast, good dinner. Making sure people are not what do you call it? It's a word for it. It's a word for it. They're not. I forget the word. If I remember what the terminology is, I'll definitely say it because I know they're hunger starved or something. But it's so many different terminologies, to show that they're food deprived or something like that. It's kind of crazy. More shelters don't offer hot breakfast. I always cook for them a hot breakfast, and that's true. I'll say this true from somebody who's worked in a male shelter. I know personally what they get in the shelters. They'll give them some peanut butter cookies, a cold milk, and you're lucky if you get some cereal. They'll send them to the microwave in the back, and you can warm the stuff up, or you got stuff wrapped in plastic, and there's different laws and stuff behind that. People don't understand that sometimes in the shelter, when you go to a shelter, you can't get a hot breakfast because there's something against giving people hot breakfasts or hot food. It has to make sure it's safe. It's not too hot to burn their tongue because they're worried about lawsuits and stuff like that. So when they go to try to get help from these homeless shelters, there's a bureaucracy attached and connected to that, which that'll blow your mind. So once you finally get these people to a shelter, you don't even know if they're going to get the proper help or something that they could even understand. I've had homeless people come up to me and say, white and black, gay or straight, old and young, I don't go to the homeless shelters because I don't like the rules and regulations. It's not safe, especially for children. It's not always safe for children. You don't know who the staff is or people care about you. It's all these different things that happen. So when you find reputable people or folks that know what they're doing, somebody like Valerie says that she's involved in the process, not just from a standpoint of the money, but a standpoint of actually administering the aid, that's a big deal. You want to make sure you're involved with that. You want to make sure you're doing something. Hopefully this is not boring to you. Hopefully I'm not lecturing you. Hopefully the tone of this is not too serious for you. But these are real things that I know. That's why I chose to speak on this, because I said, okay, I've seen other people getting involved. And I said, let me add my piece to it. Let me let cats know this is a bigger piece. There's so much more going on. It's so relevant to be involved on a granular level, on a small scale, to the point where you're involved with people that are actually doing this on the ground level. All good, and it's good to hear from the core. Thank you, Creative Redundancy. I appreciate that. Thank you, Bass Fishing. I appreciate that as well. Gail, don't even worry about it. Yeah, you was at the wrong account. Okay, cool. It's all good. But the thing I'm saying, to you is just that it's a bigger deal than people understand. It's really a situation where all the effort that you can give, all the sincere people that you can find to help and actually, try to administer aid to people that are, going through stuff, that are facing, trials and tribulations as it pertains to homelessness, especially the kids. We want to try to do this for the kids. We want to look out for the kids. We want to look out for the families, for the single mothers out there, for the single fathers out there that have to deal with this. People don't understand how big of a deal it is. It's not just one piece. Some people don't realize that folks are homeless not because of any fault of their own. Sometimes it's not a situation where people are just choosing to be in dire straits. There's a lot of people that just like me and you, who are up one day and then they're down the next. They come upon hard times, they come upon hard luck. You never know what's going to happen. And like the song, the Beatles song, I try to get by with a little help from my friends. Or the most famous cover of it is Joe Croker. I just try to get by with a little help from my friends. So there's a lot of people out there, whether we strangers, whether we know each other, whatever the case may be, they're just trying to get by with a little help from my friends. I try to help people out there as much as I can, so I participate in something when it's needed. Here's the thing. Yeah, dire straits is not a choice. Dire straits is something that happens to you. There's a lot of people who wind up in these situations who do no fault of their own, especially the children. Yeah, the Beatles, yes, the Beatles did that. That's what this is. So we try to get Valerie by with a little help from her friends. We don't know each other. We don't all agree on the same things. We may not even be into all the same things, but we're all friends here now. We're all trying to help each other out now. This is for a bigger cause. This is not about one person. This is not about one channel. This is not about one day. This is not about one particular family, but you never know. Just a little bit of money, just a little bit of time. It's not all about money. The most valuable thing you can do is give time. The most valuable thing you can do is share a link. Yeah, our YouTube family is awesome. I mean, you folks, you may not understand and appreciate how awesome you are. You may not see, you may not realize how big this is right now. I mean, I wish I could express to you how big this is, what Valerie is doing. I wish I had words. I mean, I wish you could come with me when I was some of the homeless shelters and places that I've worked. I've been to the foster care places where they're giving out toys. I've been to the food lines. I've been to the spots where things is going on that was really crazy. Sadly, the coronavirus will impact the housing market for the worst. 2021 is going to be even worse, according to the media. Well, if that's the case, Juice, then stuff like this is even more necessary. It is more necessary to try to give and be there. And as much as you can, of course, what I stress to people, and I take a moment to stress this to folks: give what you can, but take care of your bills and everything first. Don't put yourself into dire straits trying to help out. Do what you can reasonably. If it's $5, if it's $1, if it's $2, if it's 50 cents, if it's something that you have to do when you have it, then you do it when you have it. But the point is to give something, whether it's your time, whether you say a prayer, whether you give consideration, whether you speak out, whether you do your own little video, whether you go and try to help folks out. People need it. There's not going to stop being a shortage of people that need help. There's not going to stop being a shortage of people that really are in dire straits, as Gail was taking on to. There's not, I mean, and not to make light of it either, but there's always going to be people in need. There's always going to be folks like us who have a chance to use our platforms for good. This is the time for anybody out there who has a channel, who has a voice, who has a vision, who has a dream, who has an audience. We all have audience. Even if you're speaking to an audience of 1 or 2 or 3 of different people, you can say something. You can do it. Granny Monster did a quick live stream, which I thought was very funny, was very impactful. Gail, she's doing the interview stuff, and she's going back and forth, and Valerie's going back and forth. These are very valiant efforts. These are things that, believe me, you get these items, these goods, these food, the money into the hands of the right people, and it will mean the world. Think about it. There are children that won't go hungry. There are people that won't go without clothes. There are people who have hope. And especially now, like Juice was talking about, especially with the housing market, possibly being worse off than what it is. Victor Garcia, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you for coming through. Please, to anybody that comes to this live stream, please consider donating to the link that's being provided in the live stream for Miss Valerie Reese. You could check it out. It's definitely a charity out there. See if, overcoming obstacles, trying to help people that are in need, trying to help people that are going through stuff, that are struggling. I mean, like I said, all I would ask for you to give is $1, $5, $2, 50 cents, whatever it is, whatever you could afford, like a cup of coffee. If you could afford to go buy a cup of Starbucks coffee, I would say donate that. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate you for throwing the link, dropping the links in there. Thank you, Pet Monster. Thank you for being who you are. And I have the unenviable task of coming on before Pet Monster. So, Pet Monster's going to come in there. Thank you, Pet Monster, for doing your thing. I know you're gonna light it up after I get off of here. Pet Monster and Monster Chick. We have to make sure Pet Monster and Monster Chick. We know y'all gonna light it up for the next hour. So I'm just the opening act. I'm just the, like I said, Gladys Knight. I'm one of the pips. On the midnight train to Georgia, on the midnight train. Anyway, but let me stop with the try to sing it. Shout out to everybody that's just coming out, just taking the time to listen and hear what I'm saying. Shelters aren't necessarily safe for kids either. Well, I can speak on that. Definitely, I can speak on that, Gail. You were right. Somebody has worked in a family shelter. You have to consider the fact that, the kids may have developmental issues. They may have been molested before. There's maybe safety issues. Sometimes, you may have a shelter or something like that that's underfunded. People that may not care, employees that may not care about the people that are doing what they do. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be a tough act to follow, Granny Monster, but Pet Monster and Monster Chick, they're rock star level. I'm just I'm just a mere player playing a part, in this whole thing. I mean, Pet Monster's a rock star, but and Monster Chick, Pet Monster and Monster Chick, the Monster family. Remember, the Monster family was involved with this, so this is a much bigger thing. Llama Monster, wherever you are, we need to get you out there, But that's what that is. But back to what Gail was saying on a serious note, when it comes to the kids are the most vulnerable in this situation. There goes my phone. I'll be right back. There's nothing wrong with that, Gail. You'll be right back. I appreciate you for coming through. We're all children of God, and He is using our hands and voices for this work. Yes, I do believe that. Thank you, Candy. But like I said, I'm just following y'all. I'm just trying to, add my piece, add my experience to this, and advocate and make this a little bit more than what it is, because this is a big deal. People don't understand that regardless of how you feel, whether you agree, whether you disagree with what's going on, whether you think this is legit or not legit, there are people out there right now who are hungry. There are people out there who are without hope. There are people out there who need prayers, because we even haven't talked about that part yet. Folks got folks that ain't even praying for them. You think about it, the kids, the families. You got a lot of people out there, they ain't even got folks considering them. While a lot of us are eating our food, and we got light, and we got heat, and we got electricity. There's still folks out here in 2020, who ain't got, proper housing. There's people sleeping in the streets. And like I said, I know where they are. I can take you to them. There's people sleeping in some of the most expensive neighborhoods right there on Park Avenue right now. There's people sleeping along the side of the church. There are people who don't know where their next meal is coming from. There are people who are getting food, but the food ain't hot. Like Valerie was talking about. Not to try to depress people, but like I said, let's just keep it real. Let's just talk the talk. There are people out there who are struggling, especially the kids. If you if you don't do this for nothing else, if you don't hear me for nothing else, listen to the fact that it's about the kids. The kids are struggling, and you want to see tears come down my eye. You want to see a big black man break down. Start talking to me about the kids struggling. Listen, I'm gonna find some money if I had this. You start seeing the kids struggling. I can't deal with that. I don't have kids, but I love the kids. I don't like to see the kids struggle, man. I mean, sometimes even thinking about that. I know all of us can understand. Sis, Dad, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. This is a Black Friday charity event for the children in need. And Valerie Reese, there's a link, in the chat somewhere, folks. I appreciate that, whatnot. So I filled 30 Salvation Army stockings today for the kids. Yes. I mean, it is about the kids. I mean, if anything, we want to try to put smiles on the kids' faces. We want to try to give them some hope. We want to let you know, because, remember, this is Thanksgiving, but you also have Christmas coming. You also have, New Year's, which things will be a little bit more challenging, going into next year, just because when you add the wrinkle of COVID-19, that's a whole other issue. So you have people in places where they have issues with housing, and then having issues with housing, there's the issue of, trying to socially distance and stay healthy. There's the health issue and whether or not they have access to proper medical. And there's kids, there's adults and stuff like that, families who don't have access to proper medical. There are people who don't know where their next meal is coming from. What's going on, Lucky? I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through, even if it's for a second, a minute, or whatever the case may be. There's some links out there. There's folks out there. Everyone can donate $5, $1 if you want to. If you don't want to donate, you can share the link. You could just give a shout out to Valerie Reese and her channel. This is no pressure. Not trying to make anybody do anything they don't want to do. Just asking you to consider, just asking you to think about it. Like I said, whatever the whatever the price is of a cup of coffee around your way, or your local Starbucks, definitely I could tell you to consider donating it. There's nothing wrong with that. I may have to donate some more money myself, but the point is to understand and to consider that there are kids, there are families, there are people in need, there are folks out there who really need your help. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of what it is. What's going on? Oh, yeah. You respond to what Valerie said. And she's actually been able to do a lot of good work now. And the good part is that we had a lot of people that responded, to Valerie's goal, which she was trying to reach. She surpassed it. And then we're trying to get, as much as possible to try to help her out, because this is ongoing work. This is the thing that you have to understand about what Valerie's doing. We're trying to help the kids and trying to help people who are homeless, that are in need, families specifically, is that the work doesn't end after this Black Friday event. The work doesn't end after this live stream goes off, or the rock star, Pet Monster and Monster Chick come on. The work doesn't end there. The work doesn't end after, we turn off the YouTube and go our way. There's still people who are hurting. There's still people who need help. There's still people who are hopeless, who are hungry, who are just out there, just desperate, looking for help. So, consider those people. Consider the kids. Consider the fact that there are people out there who don't know where their next meal is coming from. There are people out there who don't have, proper clothes for the winter. There's people out there who don't have proper shelter. There's people out there who don't know if they have people who they can trust. And like I said, you don't have to trust me or believe me, but the most vulnerable population, the largest population of homeless people in the United States as it stands now are children. So take that where you will, and you don't have to take my word for it. Valerie Reese says it costs $12.50 a week to feed the children in our program. So if you got $12.50, if you could afford that, then hey, you feed a child, you help a child, and it's coming from a reputable place. Consider the kids. Three huge words. Yes, definitely consider the kids. Granny Monster, I love the message here so much. Well, like I said, it's about the kids. It's not about me, as all you know. I mean, look at it this way. You don't have to have kids to understand that the children are the future. You don't have to have kids to understand that you want to benefit a life. I remember a mentor of mine, somebody, close to me, told me one time, he's like, the most valuable thing, the most precious thing that you can give a child is a future. And this is a chance to help give them a future. This is a chance to help, give them some hope. That, like I said, sometimes folks just need hope. Little peeps need food, dude. They are the future. Yeah, they are the future. Like I said, we are looking at the future presidents or the future doctors, lawyers, or maybe that's the next LeBron James, or maybe it's the next Taylor Swift in there, or Justin Bieber. Never say never. I don't know. You never know who these kids are gonna be. You never know who somebody is or what they're struggling with. You never know how far that little bit that you give can go. Just giving somebody $1, a quarter, just giving somebody the $12.50, just caring about somebody, just taking the time out to look at somebody and give them conversation. Most people don't even understand when there's folks struggling or people going through stuff. The people shy away from that because they say, I don't want to deal with struggle. I don't want to deal with the hard times. I don't want to deal with seeing people go through stuff. Maybe I want the kids to be okay, but that's not for me. That's not my thing. Somebody else will take care of it. And that's the mistake that we make at times. Somebody else, will take care of it. Somebody else will donate. Somebody else will do that. And I ask you the question: what if it wasn't us to do this? What if Valerie didn't do this? What if Valerie? Yeah, we need to all, we need to all be involved. But what if Valerie didn't take the time out to do this? What if Pet Monster wasn't involved? What if Granny Monster and Gail Crabtree and AOK and the rest of the folks and the people that are too numerous to name, what if they didn't care? Who would care? Who would do it? Who's going to do the work? Somebody has to do the work. Somebody has to care. So, like I said, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? When will these things happen? When will this stuff transpire? We don't know. We definitely don't know. COVID has caused many who have mental illness have flare-ups frequently. People who previously didn't have to deal with mental issues are now being diagnosed with mental health issues. And that's also that too. People don't take, stock of the fact that people who have, PTSD or all kind of stress disorders or all kind of mental health issues from having to deal with COVID and dealing with these situations and stuff that's happening. There's just a multi-pronged thing that's going on, and people need aid. A lot of aid is not being directed in the proper places, and then it gets political. Once you start throwing the political into it, now people can't get aid because there's a bureaucracy involved, and maybe I won't help this person because they're in a Democratic state, or those people are lazy, or those folks over there don't deserve it because they're immigrants. So it's all these different things that happen, and we're not even talking about that. What about the homeless immigrant child? People don't think about that. There are homeless immigrant children who are suffering and struggling. There are people who are being ostracized because they came from another country, whether legally, illegally, and they're in a situation where they're homeless, and then they're dealing with COVID, and then you lose a parent, and then you're trying to figure out how to learn the language. So it's crazy like that. So it takes a village. It does take a village. A YouTube village. But this is a big village. This is a lot of people here, and like I said, I understand if this ain't for everybody. I understand if this message is too harsh. I understand if this live stream is a little bit too rough. I get it. But guess what? You want to know what's rougher than hearing the things in this live stream? You want to know what's harder and more intricate and more rough? Those people that have to live this thing out in the street. There are people who have to deal with this. Just like folks can leave the live stream, folks can go off and do something else and pay attention to whatever and look at the latest what you call it, challenge video, or do the next trending dance move. Guess what? There are folks out there that have to deal with the reality of this. They can't turn it off and on. They can't rewind it back. They can't flip to the next channel. They can't deal with it later. They can't DVR it. They can't binge watch the recovery effort. No, they have to live and deal with this reality day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, month by month, year by year, whatever long period that they got going through this. Yeah, I had a little woes, so it is like that. And I want to stress to people, like I said, what we're doing right here can't be stressed enough. This can't be done enough. It can't be, advocated for enough, because there are too many people to name. There are folks among us right here that we know. If you look around, 6 degrees of separation, you can find somebody in your life who's struggling and going through things, who's going through hard times. And if you don't see that person, look at the stranger that you see out in the street. Look at that person that you don't know. Look at the people who want to commute to when you're going to get your coffee, or you going out there to see another family member. Look at that stranger in the distance. What is that person's story? What is that person's life like? So it's crazy. We should consider, because you never know where your situation is going to be. And even if you never find yourself in a situation where you're homeless or you're hurt or you need help, it's about humanity. It's about caring and being, just giving a damn about your fellow man or woman, and understanding that, those people out there, can be benefited by the efforts that, just the prayers. Sometimes, like I say to you, even if folks don't donate, even if that's not your thing, even if you don't trust what I'm saying, you're looking at Mel, is he begging, whatever, what is he doing? Listen, I say, just say a prayer for folks. Say a prayer for these kids. I got to say a prayer for them. Say a prayer for Valerie, for what she's doing, for the good work that she's doing, because she's doing something that a lot of us probably not even prepared for, ready for yet. Because after these cameras go off, after this live stream is over, after Pet Monster come and do his thing, and the next one come and do their thing, and all the resources are given, she's still out there doing the work. This is a continuous work. This is a continual effort that needs our blessings, our prayers, our thoughts, our well wishes, our support for days to come, for years to come. Definitely. Prayer is an immense blessing. It is. I mean, I say that to folks out there. Like I said, and for those folks that don't have it, take the time out to consider. Maybe you share the link. So it's crazy like that. But everybody can do something. Everybody can do something. This is what it comes down to, because I'm responding to those other comments that came. This is what it comes down to. Either you want to help or you don't. And I say, look at this, because I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody. I say it like this. Put yourself in the shoes of the people that are hurting. Put yourself in the shoes of the people that are struggling, and ask yourself the question: if it was you with your children in that shelter, if it was you who was the child, would you want somebody to care? Would you not want somebody to speak out? Would you not want somebody to say a prayer? Would you not want some kind words? Would you not want somebody to give a damn? Would you just want folks to say, hey, that got nothing to do with me? Okay, somebody else will take care of it. Who is that somebody else? What if that somebody else was you? What if that somebody else is me? What if the words that I'm saying are the things that takes it over the top and pushes it into the stratosphere, something that I never thought? You never know. It's one of my favorite quotes from Jackie Robinson's wife, when she was a widower. She said something that she quoted something that Jackie Robinson said. She said, never underestimate the impact that your life may have on other people. And I say to the folks out there who are on the fence, who are maybe thinking no, who are like, okay, Mel, no, maybe you don't like him, or maybe you don't like this one. Look, if you ain't gonna give it to me, give it to Pet Monster. Pet Monster coming on after me. Give it to Pet Monster. I don't care. Give it to Pet Monster and Monster Chick. Like I said, give it up for him for the next one. I don't care. The point is to consider the fact that people are struggling and people are going through things, and just the smallest amount, if it's $1, if it's 50 cents, if it's the $12.50 that she was saying. Like I said, I might have to come back and do a little bit more after this just in case, a buck, throw a buck or two. Yeah, there you go. Pet Master was saying throw a buck or two. I've had the best hope and the rest is groovy. You need to skate. Okay, appreciate you, Granny Monster. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for the rest of the folks out there. Help communities build them up, which makes them stronger, more to do. Yes, it's a lot of good comments. Let me see. Bass Fishing, Mel, my apologies, but I had to leave for now. You're amazing, man. I'm so glad you was here to say the words of wisdom. Well, look at it like this. I appreciate the folks that came through, gave a minute or two, or whatever the case may be. The biggest thing is I got my energy. I'm coming in. I had to get some energy myself. Shout out to a lot of the people that, was contributing their time, their money, their effort, just their prayers, their thoughts, because there are people that need this. This is a big deal. This is not something that's, just you pass over and you say, okay, whatever. I'm trying to fill up the hour and I will fill up the hour, because this is something that Valerie needs. And it's just, I got the energy to at least go another 15 minutes or 60 or less than 14 minutes or whatever the case it is. But in these last couple of minutes, I try to stress to folks that your impact, your level of participation, does impact this in ways that you won't understand. Trying to go fund me, not playing nice. Go to Valerie Reese. Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, yeah. Speak to Valerie Reese about that. She'll definitely help you out with that. If anything like that, she'll definitely get you where you need to go. Valerie Reese, if you have any other links or any other alternative ways that they can help you out, just let them know, because I know this is a worthy cause, and I know you're going to cover everything. And this is not the first time. This is not her first rodeo. This is not the first time she's been doing this. And I've seen it before, but I wasn't quite sure. I had to find out. And I remember last year they were doing something that was the first year I noticed it. And I'm definitely involved with it now. Because this is something that's definitely a reputable cause, a worthy cause, and I know there's people that are involved with this that are worth putting my own name and my own reputation on the line. So that's just kind of what it is. Feeling the many peeps and the loving mothers. Appreciate that. Yeah, you got to feel the peeps and the mother of the kids and the people that are doing their thing out there. Like I said, enough can't be said. It's just I wish, if my hope and my prayer is that people's hearts and minds are open to the people that are struggling, that you understand that even the smallest participation from the largest group of people can actually help. And I know people are struggling and going through their stuff too. I know people are having hard times and money is tight. I ain't gonna lie, money's tight on my end too, but tight money in my hand is more money than the folks who have no money in theirs. I'll say it again. Tight money in my hand is more money than folks who have no money in theirs. And if you could support that, it goes in spades. People don't understand that it goes in an abundance. It increases, it doubles, it multiplies, because there are people out there like Valerie who know what to do with it, who can give you a plan, who can tell you. See, the thing is with Valerie, why this is so important, because even in the chat, shout out to the replay gang, anybody that watches this at this point, she's telling you what she's doing with the money. She's showing you, or not showing you, but she's willing in her interviews, in her videos, willing to show you what's being done. And I'll imagine that she wouldn't have a problem putting together what's going on. So let me see what the next comment was. Sorry about that. Yes, I agree, man. You can't outgive God. No, you can't outgive God. No. I wouldn't try, but you can't outgive the person giving you the resources to give. But that's a whole other conversation for another time. But the point is with Valerie, what she's doing, why this is so significant, because she's willing to answer the questions. She's willing to be in the live streams. I think this is maybe the 10th live stream that Valerie's been to today, maybe more. She's doing interviews. She's like almost on the press circuit. She's somebody out there worth supporting. So she's somebody willing to answer your questions. She's not hiding, behind the scenes. I can email her. I can talk to her. I can reach out and touch her. I can see her. I can say, well, where's the money going, and who's the person in charge, and what are the fees associated, and what is this all about, and what's overcoming obstacles, or what children are you talking about? These are things that are important, because there's a lot of times when we give our money to these organizations, we're not gonna say no names, to these big organizations, and you don't know where the money is going. You don't know who's the person, the front man or woman. You don't know what organization is going on. So when you have somebody you can touch, when you have somebody you can talk to, when you have somebody who is in reach, in arm's reach, an email or a live stream or phone call away in certain things, certain aspects, that's something that you want to at least look into, to take the time out to consider. Because it doesn't hurt to consider. It doesn't hurt to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't have the money to give. Maybe I don't understand what this is about. But you know what? I'm willing to share the link. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with sharing the link. There's nothing wrong with just saying, "Hey, let me pass the word on to somebody else that could do, good things." Uh, um, you can send it to my PayPal if the GoFundMe isn't working. So that's something that you can do as well. For those, if the GoFundMe isn't working, then you can send it to Valerie's Reese's PayPal. So that's something. Hearing, listening, supporting, giving a can of food, giving a bottle of water, giving the time. That's all these things that help create a better future for others. Yes, creative redundancy. This is definitely. Uh, um, oh, okay. Valerie asked if I could make her a mod for a minute. Um, I don't know if I could do it right here on the. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I just made a. Yeah, I just made you a moderator. Sorry about that. I was trying to do it earlier, Valerie. I just got it now. I'm gonna leave you as a moderator. Hopefully you see it. Yeah, but thank you, Texas Little Star. Appreciate that. I was trying to figure out how to do that earlier, and I think I made a couple of other people mods and stuff like that, and that's all good. So, like I said, I'm doing this because this is for a reputable cause, and there you go. So, share all the links that you need to Miss Reese. I appreciate you. Like I said, all of us working together for a bigger cause just helps more people, because you never know. Like I said, don't underestimate the impact that your time, your energy, your money, your prayers, your thoughts, just resharing the link. Don't underestimate what that does for that young child that doesn't know where their next meal is coming from, for that parent that's struggling to find out. I know people personally. I got too many stories. I know of a woman that was struggling back and forth, going from hotels to homes and houses, and too many people that I can't give out their names and stuff like that, their stories, who are going through these situations with kids, who are going through these situations not knowing where their next situations come to, don't know if they could pay their rent. There are people right now who are being evicted from their homes because they can't afford to pay their rent, that are going into situations where they need this particular help. And a lot of us are oblivious to this because sometimes we have our resources, or we have money. It's like, I got mine, you got to go get yours, or that's too much to hear or too much to deal with. And you don't understand that the blessings that are unleashed, that are unlocked, because you take the time out to say, hey, you know what? I give a damn about that person. I give a damn about their life, about what's going on, about their kids, about the future. You never know who that person is going to become. That person could become somebody that cures cancer. That person could become the person that saves a life. You never know. Much love to everyone. Have a good night. Thank you, Texas Little Star. I appreciate you for coming through. Much love to you. Shout out to you and all the folks down there in Texas. You already know. Granny Monster, everybody else, all that. Appreciate you. Much love. So I'm not going yet. I'm not going yet. I still got a few more minutes. Got to get this. Got to get this full hour in. Like I said, I gotta give Valerie Reese hers. This is the first hour live stream I did in a while. Yeah, but again, like I said, it's just so much to this that people don't understand. We underestimate our ability, our strength, our contribution to helping other people. You never know where it's gonna go. Even with me, the little bit of money that I donated, I could say, oh, it don't mean anything, but it encourages and inspires another person to do the same. If one person gives, it inspires another person to give, and another person to give, and another person to give, and then you have, what is it? I think it's probably been over 20 something people have already gave, or maybe 30 something, or whatever the case may be. Hopefully by the time Pet Monster goes on, it's 50, 60 something people. I don't know. Pet Monster and Monster Chick, those rock stars over there up in Canada, old Canada. We appreciate you. So it's collectively together, everyone achieves more, team, it's relevant. It just start taking pieces away, and you see the significance of it all. Just imagine if folks didn't give. Just imagine if folks didn't care. We have around 30 donors so far. So yeah, there you go. So more people are donating because when I came on and when I was around, it was 23. So now it's 30. So that means people were leveling up. That means it was about, so as you say, 23 to 30. There's about seven more people, and I appreciate that. I know definitely Valerie appreciates that. And this is something that, you know, for the people in the replay, I'm saying this right now for the people in the replay gang. Shout out to replay gang. If you're watching this point in the video in the replay and you got to this point, I am talking to you. You can still donate and reach out to Valerie. She got links. She's out there. I'm subscribed to her. She's a moderator on my channel. She has her own YouTube channel. She has Overcoming Obstacles. There's a way to reach her as far as what's happening. Let me see. I've had some donate on my live stream, super chat, and I've gotten cash donations. Yes. So there's different ways to reach Valerie Reese. So definitely, and she threw the link in there. So that's for the people in the replay. Shout out to the replay gang, because I know people will watch this in the replay and you're gonna say, "What the heck is Mel Mel doing?" For those folks that want to know what the heck Mel Mel is doing, Mel Mel is doing a live stream Black Friday event with Miss Valerie Reese and company for a good cause to support children in need, families in need that are homeless, that are struggling, that need help, that need assistance, that need aid. Because like it was said in one of her earlier interviews, she was wondering if she should do this, and it was said and advised to her that she should do this. It's a tradition that makes sense, worth doing. If I have more money to give in abundance, I would definitely give more money in abundance, because it's a worthy cause and there are people that need it. This goes further than what you think. This is more relevant than you understand and Valerie, please post the PayPal link. Yeah, I think she posted it, but Valerie, if you mind posting the PayPal link again, that would be beneficial and helpful. Sis Dad just wanted to know if you wanted to post it. This is definitely something that I'm grateful to be a part of. I'm honored to be a part of. This is something that I definitely look forward to continuing in the years to come, to being a part of this, to just seeing this thing, watching it grow. Maybe we could do even more. I encourage people next year, if we're doing this, to get involved. Definitely contact Miss Reese and find out what it is that you can do to help her. She's genuine people. Like I said, I wouldn't be sitting up here on no live stream, in the middle of the night, doing this. I could be watching YouTube or Netflix or something else, but this is a worthy cause. This is more important than the football. This is more important than whatever else folks is watching, because what's attached to this, it's not just a monetary value. Thank you, Candy. I appreciate that. What's attached to this is not just a monetary value. What's attached to this are lives being impacted and affected. It is very challenging in this field, in this non-for-profit. No, thank you, Valerie. Thank you so much for what you're doing. It's invaluable what you're doing. It's incalculable, the things that you're trying to do, that the stuff that you will do. I mean, I don't know if you understand the lives that you're impacting right now. This goes beyond a monetary value. It goes beyond just of giving somebody something. It's charity. The highest form of love is charity. People don't understand that. Charity done right for the sake of helping people, giving somebody the shirt off your back. That's what this is about. And these are things that you're doing right here. This saves lives. This saves, they talk about save the children. This, back in the day, I'm dating myself, and some of us are dating myself, back when it says save the children. This saves the children. This, puts things into perspective. This keeps families together. This gives kids a hope. When you see that kid out there that comes from the inner city, or comes from poverty, or come from some kind of struggle with a trailer park, or whatever the case may be, it is efforts like these that actually push the agenda forward, that actually push things forward. People underestimate the impact. People underestimate, even me just speaking these words, I don't even understand the impact that these words will have. I don't understand. I couldn't calculate. I couldn't tell you how far the reach is. I don't know, but I know there's a reach. I know there's an impact. I know I have an audience. Definitely. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you for being down. I know that this is bigger than me. It's not a white or black thing. It's not a gay or straight thing. This is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is humanity right now. We're talking about humanity, so it is what it is. I'm going to be on pet stream, so I need to go. Yes. And with that being said, I need to take the last couple of minutes to plug the rock star to do the intro or the pregame for Pet Monster and Monster Chick. The man from Canada, the man, the myth, the legend, the woman, the myth, the legend as well. Pet Monster's coming up next, and I encourage those people just to give it up for Pet Monster. And I gotta go over there to Pet Monster. If Pet Monster wants to have me up here on the live stream, we could continue this as well. Like I said, this has been a pleasure. This has been an honor, a privilege, especially me in my first hour live stream for the year. Um, People don't understand stuff like this is needed. This is not about the views. This is not about the likes. This is not about the reshares. This is not about the comments. This ain't about me. This ain't about you. It's about those people out there that need help. Even if you don't donate to this particular, effort that's going on, donate somewhere. Say a prayer for somebody. Consider someone. Try to help in some significant way to people out there that are doing their thing. Let me see, Brenda with AOK. Thank you, appreciate you, AOK, for coming through. It's a significant effort. And with that being said, I think I have exceeded my hour, and I appreciate that. Help your own community, the people around it, etc., etc. And with that being said, I say go check out Pet Monster because he's probably over there getting ready to kill it, and I don't want to get involved with cutting into his time. So again, thank you. Check out Valerie Reese at her channel. Check out Overcoming Obstacles. Check out Gail Crabtree, AOK, Pet Monster, Monster Chick. Check out Granny Monster and all the other folks that was involved with this Black Friday charity event. You already know, much love, spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. This was what's up. Definitely much.